So now we are going to discuss what are all the objectives of human resource management. So this can broadly be classified into personnel objectives, functional objectives, organizational objectives and societal objectives. So in the next slide we will see some examples of this. So societal objectives is legal compliance. So for example, in a particular area, it is environmental hazards are likely to occur. So they might not be in a position to sanction an industry or to run an industry or a company in a particular place. So that type of government related issues, then benefits related to the society in that particular in and around areas, and also the goodwill of the company. All that will be the societal objectives, and to what extent the union and the management are in good terms. Then comes the organizational objectives. Here it is the objectives will be related to human resource planning, employee relations, selection, training and development, appraisal, placement and assessment. All this we are going to study in detail in the next unit. Okay. Now next one is the functional objectives like appraisal and placement. Okay. Now the personal objectives, training and development, appraisal relating to job design and all those things we will see in detail, placement, compensation, assessment. So now you must keep in mind these are all focusing on the definition of the concept human resource management, acquiring, procuring, all that we saw, no, training, development and all those things. So it will be in tune with that only. Now next we are going to see what are the functions of human resource management. This is very important both as an examination point of view and also from the day-to-day life activities. So managerial, it can broadly be classified into managerial functions and operative functions. So the managerial function, as I told you earlier, management is the art of getting things done through and with people. So when the functions of management, it is the expansion of the coined word called PODSCOM. PODSC, together you read. SCO. CO is for coordination. So P for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordination and controlling. So this is the managerial functions. And the second part is the operative functions with the procurement, compensation, development and maintenance. These are the four basic heads under which the activities of the human resource management department is going to take place. Now we will see the same thing in detail in the next forthcoming slides. So management functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Now this planning is deciding in advance what is to be done in future. Okay, suppose we plan for a tour on such and such a date. So that is what we are planning in advance, what we want to do in future. So planning is the management function of establishing objectives and developing plans to accomplish them in future. By simple word, future. That is very important. Organizing, we take assignments, small assignments from the main objective, convert it into small task, and that task we assign to different group of people. Okay, so organizing is the management function of grouping people and assigning them to carry out job task in relation to the mission. So next comes staffing. Staffing means it is selecting the right person for the right job at the right time. So that is very important function, staffing. Okay. Now the next concept is directing. Directing is initiating action and issuing directiveness, assignments, instructions to whatever levels of management a person is, they will assign duties to them. Okay. Next is controlling. So we have a standard performance, and if they are performing below that, we need to take control measures, and we compare the standards with their performance, identify to what extent they are deviating, and try to take control measures. It can be in terms of anything. Okay, non punishments or further training, any type it can be. Okay, so the next operative functions of human resource management. So as I told you, procurement or acquiring or selecting people for the particular job in that particular organization. So procurement function, it relates to identifying the manpower, existing manpower and future manpower to meet the objectives of the organization. So we compare those two. Okay, then we must also identify what are the possible ways to achieve or to utilize the manpower to the maximum effect. Then what is the cost of recruitment and placement? How much we are spending for all those things, for recruitment and placement. Then matching the skills with the available skill. So in the forthcoming future, suppose automation is there, the government policies are changing, the way of doing things is changing. Do the existing employees have the skill to equip themselves? Then comes the development function. So here, mainly when we talk about development, we saw in the difference between HRD and HRM. No, so training is a major concept. Career, developing the career of the employee, making them perform better by in terms of providing training, and not only in terms of skill training, but also certain attitudinal or behavioral changes to take place in the minds of the employees. Then comes compensation function. Compensation function is giving remuneration or giving wages or salary to the employees. So employee cost in terms of turnover. So how many employees are leaving the organization in a particular year, and the amount spent for them in terms of training and all those things, is it a cost effective aspect for the organization, things like that. So linkage between wages and productivity. So whatever we pay, is it equivalent to or more than their productivity, or is it less than their productivity? And then we must also identify to what extent money plays an important role in motivating workers. So when you design motivation tools, if money is going to be a major factor, then you can insert it in terms of incentives or benefit over time, in terms of money or recognition, like that. Okay. Then comes the maintenance function. It is the cost of employees separation who leave the organization. Absenteeism is the number of employees taking leave in a particular period of time. Turnover is to leave the organization itself. There is difference between absenteeism and turnover. Who leave the organization, we call them as turnover. Absenteeism, they are employees but they don't come to organization very frequently. Okay. Then incentives for VRS if necessary. Okay. To achieve the objectives of the organization. Then comes the integrating function. What are all the changes in the productivity level? What are all the changes and how we have to adapt to the global competition. So accordingly, they have to make some integrating activities with other companies in the same area, or with other companies in a different state or district, and at the national level, and as well as at the global level. The next one is the environmental changes. That also we have to keep in mind. Recycling, then waste disposal, all that we must keep in mind. Then we must update ourselves in tune with the technology and the market. So that is very important. So with this, our first unit is over. So we have discussed what are all the objectives of HRM, what are all the functions of HRM in this part of the second part of the first unit. So with this, our first unit is over. So there is an assignment for you. So you have to collect information from friends or relatives who are working in small industries nearby your house. And in Dindigul district itself, you know, there are lots of spinning mills, there are lots of tanneries, and there are lots of small retail shops or retail outlets, whatever it may be, textile units, whatever it may be. You just ask them and you put it into this. Just don't ask exactly the same words which is in our slides. You ask them how you go for job, how they take people. They will tell. Through advertisement, through our friends, references, like that they will tell. Then you put it under each of the headings. So you prepare an assignment and you have to post it in a Google class or in this Genomio site. So thank you, students. I hope you really enjoyed. This is a different experience for you.